Welcome in. This is the Wednesday live chat for this week's Zurich Classic, for this week's Live Mexico City, for this week's Hainan Classic, for this week's Veritex, for this week's Mitsubishi. There are 5 events going on in the world of golf. We can talk as much or as little about any one of those that you want, because this time is yours. Questions, comments, and concerns, get them in the chat. We will go through this as efficiently, as logically as possible, but I have to start with some absolute breaking news. Just moments ago, Billy Horschel withdrew from the Zurich Classic. I kid you not. If you have not heard, it's true. It's true. So Tom Hoge will have to now play with Kevin Chappell, which is obviously a downgrade. The first alternate goes into that spot and automatically gets paired with Hoge. So Billy Horschel is out. Kevin Chappell is in. That is now a Hoge Chappell pairing. We will obviously talk a lot about that and the ramifications as this show goes on. Before we dive deeper into this, it's a unique week, right? 80 teams of 2, a cut of top 33 in ties, alternate shot, best ball are the 2 formats that they are going to go through each of the 4 rounds. So 2 and 2. If you look at the weather forecast for New Orleans, I don't think it's particularly actionable. You get that afternoon wind coming up on each of Thursday and Friday, 12 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, similar temperatures, similar chance of rain and precipitation throughout. So not seeing the weather play much of a role in this event. I also want to point out that many one and dones do not have a pick to be made this week. If you're playing on my one and dones on Splash, there is no pick to be made this week. There are, however, some one and dones in which you select one golfer and you get the team. So that is why you're seeing right now Shane Lowry is the most selected golfer at 24%, because you'd use Shane to get access to Shane and Rory, who are the favorites to win this golf tournament. Tom Hoge, 10.5%, that number is going to come down, is the second most popular golfer, because you would have gotten Hoge and Horschel. Kitayama, 9.9, that would get you Kitayama and Morikawa. You can see Billy Horschel was the 4th most popular. So basically, Hoge and Horschel were a very popular pair, as you can imagine. And then nobody, or I guess not nobody, but like very few people wasting Rory McIlroy, less than 1%, because you'd get access to Shane Lowry otherwise. So that's know the rules. Know the rules of your league. If you make a pick this week, you're only burning one guy to get access to both. I suppose there are leagues out there where you're burning both guys, but just know your rules. I would assume the majority of leagues do not have a pick to be made this week. Check it out. All right, let's get into this. Adam says, how do you attack the Zurich from a one and done perspective? Who are the best pairs for one and done that have a golfer that you otherwise wouldn't use? Okay, so like the clear and obvious situation here is Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy. The other thing to consider is this. So first off, this is my website, rickrungood.com. In some places on the website, I've loaded in teams, which is great. So you can kind of see the data across all the teams here. Either of Keith Mitchell, JT Poston, like you're probably not using JT Poston at any point in one and done, but he is going to be on a team that is like the 3rd shortest odds, which I think is interesting. But if you're looking for like the biggest difference between golfer 1 and golfer 2, Carson Young and Akshay, right? You use Carson Young, you get access to Akshay. They have like the 10th shortest odds in the field. Either one of the Højgaard brothers, right? You're probably not going to use as much as you might use Rasmus at some point. I'm trying to see who else you could use that would be a really good. I mean, if Matt Fitzpatrick was playing better, you could use Alex Fitzpatrick to get access to Matt Fitzpatrick. You could use Joseph Bramlett to get access to Alex Smalley. There's a couple really far down the board, but unfortunately they're so bad it's not worth really considering. Like you could use Sam Saunders to get access to Eric Cole. You could use Sepp Straka to get access to Bryce Garnett. Or I'm sorry, other way around. You could use Bryce Garnett to get access to Sepp Straka. That's probably an interesting one. Not super high on that team, but at least Bryce Garnett hits fairways and hits greens, and Sepp Straka is probably a top 10, probably top 8 player in this field. And of course, you could use Kurt Kitayama to get access to Colin Morikawa, but again, not super high on that team. People mention choosing partners with complementary strengths. I could see this helping in a scramble, but how does it help in this format? So this format is, half of the rounds are an alternate shot. So the idea being that if you can get a partner who does things well that you do poorly, you can stay on script. So for example, if you have one golfer who can drive and putt and one who has a great approach game, for example, if you would set it up where the iron player would hit all the approaches and the tee shots on the par threes, you can set up so you can get a majority of that. Best driver drives it, then the best iron player hits the shot, then you get the putter. So like Max Grazerman, who drives it really well and putts it really well, if he can get a guy who hits the green for him every time, that would be really interesting. Now, the caveat to that, Brian, is you've got to stay on script. If you get off script and your iron player starts missing greens and now your putter has to come chip like that's going to end up being a problem. But that's the idea behind it. I played a head-to-head one and done to stay close to a friend. That's cool. How would you change this with just the two of us involved? So your strategy is pretty chalky, right? You just end up taking like one of the top 5 favorites every single week that you haven't used, that you just never need to do anything crazy. Back-to-back questions on Sang Moon Bay. That is how we know we are at the Zurich Classic. Here's Sang Moon. Coming off 2 missed cuts on the Korn Ferry Tour, withdrew from Puerto Rico, T39 in a corner. Yeah, this isn't very good, is it? I mean, he has lost at least 4 or 5 strokes to the field in like 6 out of 8. Ever since 2025 started, things have not been good for Sang Moon. Hey, Rick, still loving the second cut? I hope so. It's only been like 5 episodes. I hope you're loving it. By the way, yeah, so if you haven't been paying attention, we had a podcast. It got retired. We restarted it back up. It's called The Second Cut. We've got over 2,000 subscribers on YouTube already, which is crazy. We're 4 or 5 episodes in, building something pretty cool over there. It's mostly just, round recaps. It's more about professional golf, less about gambling or data or anything. There's obviously that's all being, throughout it, but good group of guys, a lot of fun. Looking at some matchups this week, we can get rid of that one because Billy and Hoagie are not playing together anymore. Fitz brothers over Gim and Kim, and Dietrich. Okay, so let's look at the Fitz brothers because I think they're going to come up a lot over the course of this show here. We'll look at Matt, who flashed a little bit of good play last week, but then faded on Sunday, ended up finishing in a tie for 38. So he has actually played better at the Masters in Harbortown, and it only resulted in a T40 and a T38. Has gotten off to good starts in both of those events. The rest of the year and all of last year, really nothing to write home about. I actually think that Alex kind of surpassed Matt at one point. Let's see if that is still the case. Yeah, so playing more of an abbreviated schedule on the DP World Tour, you can see his fall was awesome, right? Really just piled up a lot of really good finishes. It has not been as strong in 2025. He's only made 2 cuts this year, although his best finish is his most recent finish, but that was a month ago. That was in India. It's hard to back this team if you're me, right? If you're looking for something outside of just the magic of being brothers, this is kind of a hard team to back. I think I prefer, and the team that I'm growing on the most is the Aaron Rai, Sahith Theegala team. We have seen this event be a slump buster, if you will. Sahith has been bad in 2025. He's been bad. A little frustrated. Metrics are bad. Sometimes you just need somebody to hit half the shots for you. And sometimes you just need somebody to rely on. And there is no better person to rely on in that scenario than Aaron Rai, who is resolute, strong, determined, focused, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Emotionless. Really, really good partner to have if you're Sahith right now. I could see these two going pretty crazy. I'm in a pick. Okay, so here. Oh, this was a follow-up part. The just to put a bow on that. The Morikawa Kitayama group is not all that exciting. Morikawa I thought was pretty bad last week at Harbortown. He has not had a lot of success here, despite being one of the favorites every single time that he's teed it up. And then Kurt Kitayama has these moments of, massive strokes gained approach numbers, but he's been hemorrhaging in that category for the last month. So really, really struggling for these two. Again, barring just some magic that might pop up, it's hard to think they're going to do much. John says, I'm going to pick 2 one and done where you can reuse winners. What team has 2 golfers I won't use anywhere else this year with the best chance of winning? You can reuse winners if you picked them or if they've already won. I guess it doesn't matter for your question. So 2 golfers that you won't use anywhere else that have the best chance of winning. A lot of teams. Mitchell and Poston. Are you going to use them anywhere else? Why would you? Third shortest odds. Dietrich McIntyre. Probably not going to use those. I guess you could conceivably use Robert McIntyre at the Scottish Open again. The Højgaards. So we've already got three teams that fit your question inside the top 8 of the odds. So I would say the answer is probably Keith Mitchell and JT Poston. I think there's using them individually is not going to be all that appealing. And now you're getting them at 16-1. Alex says top 10 of a 100 person one and done. Don't overthink it and just roll out Shane, right? 40% have already used him and safe to assume nobody is taking Rory. Yep. Just no point, right? They are by far the best team in this field over the last 36. They're picking up a stroke and 3/4 combined over the last 36. It's a half stroke better than anybody else. It is 3/4 of a stroke better than the third best team. Yes. Who would be a good first round leader pair? This is going to be chaotic, Robin. Anybody. But Sammy Valimaki and he's playing with Mason Anderson? No. Mason Anderson and Matt McCarty are playing together. Sammy Valimaki is playing with, I'll find it. They're cheap. It's all right. That's okay. I'll find it. I want to 6K. No, they gotta be more expensive than that. Right?
It was the Batman.
Right. So, but I thought you meant $6,000 even. Just tell me who he's playing with. Silverman. Oh, here he is. Ben Silverman, $6,900. That team would be pretty interesting. Isaiah Salinda and Kevin Velo. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I mean, the Wyndham Clark Taylor Moore team is pretty crazy. But you could make a case for a lot of guys. No. Sorry. I take back everything I said. Ryan Gerard and Danny Walker. They are the approach and putting team. Very, very good numbers there. That's how you win a first round leader. Looks like, okay. I fell a good amount in one and done after the Rory victory. Most people will be on him in my league since it's a free week. A free week. To be different, I'm thinking Billy and Hoagie. Well, don't do that now. I'm assuming you sent that before. I don't understand the free week part. So, you can just use Rory and get away with it, and it's no big deal. I don't understand that. But yeah, if you want to be different, just play Mitchell and Poston. I think that's fair. Would you rather pair a strong player with a weak one, hoping the star carries, or go more balanced? It depends, Steven, but usually more balanced. The argument is Sepp Straka and Bryce Garnett. Really good player in Sepp Straka, not great in Bryce Garnett. I don't think I like that team as much as I like Adam Hadwin and Nick Taylor, or Akshay and Carson Young, or the Hoygaards, or Nico and Grazerman, something like that, right? It's just going to be tough for one guy to carry. I don't know if I have not heard, Trevor. So the question is, who won the round with John Daly and myself? I have not seen an announcement from Splash. They haven't told me. I'm not sure they've drawn it yet. I will reach out and see what the timeline is. Or maybe, I mean, what I would normally do if I was in their position, and what I've done for our giveaways, is I will contact that person, draw a winner, contact that person, and make sure like they're going to respond and everything's good before I announce that they are the winner. The worst thing is I don't want to announce the winner and then have them back out for some reason. So maybe there's something like that going on, but I will have to reach out and see. Yeah, no ownership projections, just not comfortable enough doing it. But like, let's be real here. I do think there's going to be a lot of concentrated, like there's so many bad teams that Shane and Rory are going to be incredibly popular. Keith Mitchell and JT Poston are going to be popular. Now the Hoagie Horschel thing probably moves a lot to Rai Thagala, Hoygaard. Then you're going to see a little bit on Garrick Higo. This is all relative, right? Fox and Higo are going to be popular. All the brothers are going to be popular. So Fitzpatrick, Jeremy Paul, Yannick Paul. I think you're going to see a little bit on Bezaden Hout and Eric Van Rooyen. I think that you are going to see some on there's somebody down here at $6,800. Oh no, I was thinking about somebody else. Those are probably the teams that are gonna get a good bit. Maybe Frankie Sappin and Jake Knapp. Oh, the other thing I want to mention about Sahith is he won the QBE shootout with Hoagie. That's a similar type event, of a much smaller field, but a similar type event. I had a hot take that Scotty wouldn't win this year and got laughed at. So far, so good. Yeah, Rob, I do not encourage you to early victory lap Scotty Scheffler not winning a golf tournament this year. Just like, nah, let's get to June and we'll start worrying about that, right? Like, let's get halfway through the year on a guy who had surgery in December, because I see a guy who is like about to win every golf tournament that there possibly is. You're right. He hasn't won. He has just been on the podium nonstop. So we'll see. I mean, listen, Rob, if you're right, great call. We'll see. Deb, thoughts on Justin Lauer and Chad Ramey? I want very little to do with this team. I know that Ramey has had a good run at this event in the past. I don't think this team possesses the proper upside here. Okay, Ben's got some questions here. Thank you, Ben. Oh, I guess I'll wait for them to come through. Chris says, can you run a model? All right, yeah. Let's do this. So these are going to come out as individuals, though, so we'll have to figure this out together. So Chris is putting up a model here. RickRunGood.com. You can do the custom model. He is asking for 25 around the green, 25 on birdie or better, and I get to choose the rest. All right. Here's the problem. So Chris has given me two stats. Well, I guess one stat that is not always like, there are guys who are from different tours and have no status. Now we've got strokes game breakdown from Live, which none of these guys are in. European Tour, PGA Tour. So we get the strokes game breakdown there. So what I'll do is I'll do around the green for 25, like Chris asked, last 50 rounds. I'll do birdie or better, like Chris asked. But I need to do some type of weighted strokes gain. So we're going to put 25 there. And then my last 25, we got to get some approach stuff in here, don't we? Let's do stroke. Well, I guess that's also, I've also kind of given myself another problem there because I have the same strokes gain problem. Let's do, how about this? Fantasy points gained is pretty, well, I don't want to double up on that because it's birdies. He's got birdies or better. We're running in circles here, Chris. Let's do strokes gained approach last 36. All right. Chris in my model. Rory, Colin, Bud Cauley, Siwoo Kim, Alex Smalley, Chan Kim, Hayden Springer, Aaron Rice, Sepp Straka, Shane Lowry. So Chan Kim is playing with Doug Gim. That's pretty interesting. Smalley's playing with Bramlett. That's Bud Cauley's playing with Kevin Tway, which kind of stinks. Are any of these guys playing together? Like, how far do we have to go before two of these guys are playing together? I think I just found it. Yeah, here you go. Ryan Gerard, Danny Walker. I think that team, so they are both inside the top 17 of this model, Chris and I's model. They are the skill set they possess is very high upside. Could go horribly wrong. Like if they aren't making putts, it's over. But that team is really growing on me. So if you guys haven't heard, I'm actually traveling on Sunday. I'm going to head to Hartford, and I'm going to play in Media Day for the Travelers Championship, which is on Tuesday. So the foursome that we have together is myself, Greg Ducharme, Joe Musso, and Michael Breed. That's our foursome for that Media Day, which I hope we will win. So we play TPC River Highlands, and it's us four, and it's going to be a blast. Alex says, if Rick Gehman and Joe Musso played this tournament, but all 4 rounds as a scramble, while all the pros played both the 4-ball and see, this is good. Unfortunately, okay, we wouldn't finish last because I bet you some team isn't under par. I think that's probably true. I bet you some team will be over par. So we wouldn't finish last. The problem is, I think even in our best scenario, we're going to shoot like 6 under a round. Absolute best case scenario. And when they play best ball, it's going to be like 10 under, 11 under. And then we're just not going to make enough birdies. Like we'll be like 2 under every day. Yeah. I mean, we're not going to finish last. Did we crown Ludwig too early, or is he just in a slump other than playing well out of Augusta? Well, let's look. I'm not worried at all about like the Postmasters, Harbortown result. I'm not really worried about this. I think that he's not as good of a putter as maybe we once thought, or as I guess statistically as he was last year, which kind of bleeds into a couple of other things. But yeah, he hasn't been as sharp, but he's all right. Rick. Does it make sense in any team format to go with a duo like Siwoo and Sangmoon? I don't like that. I like a more balanced team. Hey, Rick, love the show. Big hit with JT last week. Whoop, 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 whoop. What are your thoughts on Roth? The Gala, like him. Okay, so I'll just rank these. So I've made 2 bets, 2 outright bets. They are Aaron Rice, Sahith, Poston Mitchell. That's it. It's the only thing I've done. I've got top 10s or top 20s on the Paul brothers and on Walker and Gerard. That's all I have right now. That's probably all I'll roll with. So that tells you where I'm at, Chris. I did not go with Griffin and Novak. Just wasn't for me. Hey, Rick, if you had to rank the brothers playing, who would it be in the following order? The Højgaards, the Harbals, and the Fitzbros. Well, the Højgaards, then the Fitzbros, because they actually play golf, then the Harbals. All right, let's see here, Ben. Model inputs seems this week should focus on weighted strokes gained total. Agreed. Okay. Well, now I don't want to lose my spot, so I'll get back to that. Who would your partner be? Rory McIlroy, because he is very, very good. No, if we assume that if we compare my skill set, so I need somebody who can hit it far, and I need somebody who can chip. So I'm okay everywhere else relative to my handicap, right? So let's do it like this. So let's go look at the cheat sheet and find the longest hitter who can chip. And that's going to be my partner. Longest hitter who can chip. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The first two options are Kurt Kitayama and Alejandro Tosti. Oh, we would have fun with both of those guys. That would be good. Best course comp. So here's the course key stats for this week, and it's very, very wonky because team event. It's a we don't have the full the strokes gain doesn't come in here. I like what's the place where KH Lee won twice? TPC Craig Ranch, right? Trying to rack through my brain. I kind of like that one. What can you say about Chris Ventura? Let's go look. I kind of do like the guys who have to play like, like have a lot of experience on the Corn Ferry and all over the globe where you just have to go super low. Losing a ton of strokes on approach, losing a ton of strokes around the green, which I don't really care about this week, but the tee to green numbers are really, really bad since the Cognizant. So probably going to stay away from him. He's probably played this event before. He did, but it was 2021. He finished T25. Who did he play with? Did he play with Victor that week? Was this before Victor went for the super team with Colin in 22? Someone check on that for me if you could. Who did Chris Ventura play with in 2021? What do you think of Walker and Ryan Gerard at 55-1? In. What do you think of Rico Hoey, Sam Ryder? This is probably the best complementary team. Rico Hoey. Oh, I got to change his name. Richard Hoey. Technically, his name is Richard. Goes by Rico. Technically, my name is Richard. Go by Rick. Unbelievable ball striker, right? I've said this for years, or at least 2 years. People have told me he is the best driver on tour. Hard to argue with. Really good approach numbers recently, okay? So remember that profile. Then you get the Sam Ryder profile, which ever since Armina cursed him at Torrey Pines, he can't win, but he can putt, and that's all he can do. Putts the lights out. It's valuable in this format. If they can stay on script, these two are really, really good. So also, I believe Ryder's had some good runs here. Yeah. 17th, 3rd, 26th over a 3-year stretch. Missed the cut last year. Missed the cut in 2018. I don't care about that one. But yeah, that's it's good enough for me. So that's a very good team. Whoa, Armina. This says, how do you find a producer as good looking as yours? You just gotta fool them, just gotta absolutely fool them. Do you like Riley and Hardy? Yeah, they've won this event, but Riley's been better. Nick Hardy's a little bit lost here. Preference: Bridgman or Gerard and Cauley or Riley? Okay. Your ors and your ends are confusing me. Bridgman or Gerard and Cauley or Riley. So those are 3 options to fill out. How's that possible? Anyway, here's how I rank them. You figure out what you want. Gerard, Cauley, Bridgman, Riley. They didn't split. Billy Ho withdrew and got assigned a thing. Alternate. How bad does Matt Fitzpatrick have to be playing? Yeah. For his TGL team to bench him for Cam Young in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, Matt has been really bad. He's played a lot better the last 2 weeks, and it's been a 38th and a 40th in small fields. It's been very, very bad. My favorite brother team, and this is all relative, right? Because their odds are much longer. Jeremy and Yannick Paul. I wrote about this in my newsletter for this week, rickrungood.com/newsletter. Jeremy's coming off a runner-up at Corrales, so a PGA Tour event. Yannick is coming off a 3rd place finish in China. And that's both their best finishes of 2025. Good timing. Good time to get together. Love these guys. All right, here are those weights from Ben that I've been scrolling for. Let's see what we can find here. Go back to the custom model. Okay. So we're going to do 25 on weighted strokes gained. Let's start there. Good drive percentage. Oh, you know what we could also do? We could also do so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so put like 20 on good drive percent. We'll do your strokes gained putting on Bermuda. We'll do your bonus putting. How much is that going to leave us with? And then how about we also add in, we could do long courses. It's kind of a long course. 15. Ben's model. Oh my goodness. Jacob Bridgman, number 1. Shane Lowry, Rory McIlroy, Zach Johnson, Ryo Hisatsune. That's actually a pretty good team too. Hisatsune and the guy who used to be an amateur. I guess these all guys used to all be amateurs, but the guy who's the number 1 amateur in Japan, his name is Mark. He was on Mark Immelman's International President's Cup team. His name is eluding me. Not Onishi Tanaka? No. Why can't I think of his name? Did you find it yet? I was trying to vamp to see if Armina could find it. Here it is. Takumi Kanaya. Takumi. That's a pretty good team. Bo Hostler is 6. Colin Morikawa is 7. Ben Griffin is 8. Billy Horschel is 9. Sepp Straka is 10. What percentage would you attach the likelihood of Rory and Lowry missing the cut? 20%, which I think is very high for a favorite in a golf tournament, but it's kind of a weird event and there's a lot of luck involved. I don't think they're going to miss the cut, but I think that's pretty high. So kind of back-to-back questions here. Just in regards to Shane and Rory, if you're playing one lineup, play Shane and Rory. I don't think you need to overthink it. It's unlikely they win. I understand they're the favorites. It's really hard to defend. It's really hard to win in this format. And there's going to be some team that goes nuts. Can you win a GPP without them if they win? No. Because they're also going to be like 35% owned or something like that. Remember when Cam Champ was a thing? I do. Remember when he won like once a year? I know that was bad, wasn't it? Remember when he won like once a year and he just won like Safeway or Sanderson. He had like 3 wins in his first 3 years. Now playing on the Corn Ferry and a little bit back and forth here. Not good. Not good golf. Not too good. Yeah, Hoagie gets Kevin Chappell, which I guess let's just look up what Kevin Chappell's been doing. He was the first alternate at the Zurich. I can't imagine he's been playing that well, or else he would have been in this field already. Yeah. So 3 straight missed cuts. Punta Cana Club Car Championship. That's a Corn Ferry Tour event. Missed the cut in Puerto Rico. Panama Championship. He withdrew there. I would say that is probably a bad buy. And that reminds me, if you're looking for good buys and bad buys, our friends over at DraftKings are now letting you play free for your share of millions in prizes. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app, enter promo code RickDFS to play free for your share of millions with your first deposit. That's RickDFS for new DraftKings customers. Just download the Daily Fantasy app. Yeah. I love it. I love it. The guys, they do a good job. They do a good job over there. Obviously, for 10 years, I've been using their salaries and their salaries alone for this channel. So it's nice to hook up with the crew. All right. Top 3 teams to win. Rai Sahith, Horschel, Poston, Gerard Walker. I was trying to get Armina to she doesn't know it yet, but I'm working on her to get a golden tee in here. It was Hovland and Ventura. I knew it. Thank you. Can we do a deep dive on Fisk and Whiting? So Fisk has been playing well, right? Fisk has been playing well, if I remember correctly. Oh, yeah. Had that 4th in Puerto Rico, top 30 at Valspar, top 35 at the Texas Open. He missed the cut in Punta Cana, probably on the number after a really bad Thursday, much better Friday, and missed the cut on the number in Houston. That's pretty darn good. Has he played this event before? He has not. Okay, so I'm okay with the Fisk side of things. Let's see what the Tim Whiting side of things is. Oof. Yikes. That is, boy, 8 of 9 missed cuts and a WD. So that is 9 of 10 not making it to the weekend in 2025. The one time he made it to the weekend was in Puerto Rico, and he finished T45. That is not too good. Not very good. I wish that was better. Wanted to give you your flowers for that Houston NCAA call. I wrote it. I was able to hedge. Yeah, it is cool. You know, you can only ask for so much. You pick a team to win it all. They're leading with 2 minutes to go. Like, that's never gonna bother me there. That's about as good as you're gonna get. They beat the most popular champ in route, Duke. They lost to the second most popular champ. It happens. You know, good week overall. Oliver is snoring so loud right now. It's crazy. Do you have any good golf course in Orange County? Well, all right. I'll just give you, like, the primos are Pelican Hill and Monarch Beach. Try out Strawberry Farms.
He said for a newbie.
I thought he meant new to Orange County.
Oh.
Either way, the ranch at Laguna Beach is a cool little 9-hole course. Did I say Strawberry Farms? A lot of people like San Juan Hills. I think it's fine. A lot of people like Talega. I think Talega's fine. Those are off the top of my head. Good luck. Probably out on the Novak team. Nothing against those guys, just probably think there's a little bit of a hangover. I think Ben Griffin hasn't been as good as people want to think he has been. Thoughts on PGA suspending Wesley Bryan? I don't know the details of this, but I'm sure there will be lawyers, right? So it's one thing to get suspended by playing on a competing tour. That's obvious, right? We've known that. To call Live Duels a competing tour, it was broadcast on Grant Horvat's YouTube. So I don't know if that's really a competing tour. The thing is, you know, Wesley has, and I mean, probably admittedly, like, I think he said, like, YouTube is more important to him. So I don't know how much of a big deal it is. I would assume, like, if they haven't already, I'm assuming Liv has offered Wesley Bryan a deal, or will next year, right? Like, that isn't that the most logical next step for all of this? I don't know. Are we okay? Yeah, Andrew, good call here. This is actually a really good sleeper team. This is the Jesper Svensson, Nicholas Norgard team. What I like about this team is a couple of things. I'm just a Norgard fan in general. Masher drives it a mile. That's a good skill set to have. The rest of his game, it hasn't been as good on the PGA Tour this year, but he's very, very good. So that's good. What else do you get? You get Svensson, who is an unbelievable putter. Look at this, racking it up. So we've got to figure out who's going to hit these second shots, but they both have very high-end skill sets. And that type of stuff is very good. Are you surprised that the Cantlay Xander group is not playing? This part of the schedule is packed, right? We were trying to figure out Scotty's schedule the next couple of weeks, and because there's a couple of Texas events coming up, but this part of the schedule is just jammed. And with Xander, like, had already missed time with an injury, just does not surprise me at all that this is a week off. Dark horse for Toasty and Highsmith. Very interesting team. We need Toasty to be, or we need Highsmith to use this event to break out of a slump, which I've mentioned that could happen. I don't know what this team chemistry is going to be like. I think they are a huge range of outcomes team. Toasty can drive it. Highsmith can hit the second shots and can flush it. Who's going to putt on that team depends on what, like sometimes Highsmith putts well. If he picks up a couple strokes, he wins golf tournaments, right? Toasty's all over the place. Lost 6 at the Valspar, lost 4 at the Texas Open, gained in Houston in the Players. So this team's crazy. I like it more than I don't. The GOAT. Thanks, Brian. Out on the Davis Riley team. In the 6K range, what teams are viable? I believe they are as follows. Where are my power rankings? Here we go. These are the teams that I would consider in the 6K range. Sammy Valimaki and Ben Silverman, they're 6,900. Isaiah Salinda and Kevin Velo, 6,800. This team right here, Angel Ayora and Alejandro Del Rey, grade very well. They're one of the best combined teams in the 6K range. They pick up together a half a stroke per round. That's a sneaky one at 6,700. I don't mind Mason Anderson and Matt McCarty. And that is probably it. I don't want Eric Cole and Sam Saunders. Yeah, I have to be out. Cam Davis going under the radar. I think this is the same question we got before. He's just in a slump. Like a bad one. What do I have him in here? Is Cam Davis? There we go. It's just not good. Just not good at all. I know he finished T13 at Harbortown, but look at how he did it. 7 strokes in the short game. That is entirely unsustainable and not in line with what he has been doing before this. He'll get it figured out. Maybe this is a week where he'll start to get right after this, but no, not interested. The single entries, I like to play all the single entries, and then you'll see me in like the I go pull all the data for the other tours, so I play like all the other tours too, so I can download the sheet. When is PMAC coming to the second cut? I'm in negotiations with his agent. His agent has me in a headlock. I'm losing the battle. He's very expensive. Hopefully soon, but I don't know. All right, last one here, I think. Pearson Cootie and Jackson Suber. Let's see what these guys have been up to. Is it weird that Pearson didn't bring Parker along? Pearson's been pretty good, right? Across the Korn Ferry and the PGA Tour. We've got 3 top 10s on the Korn Ferry in his last 10 starts across both tours. And then he's only missed 2 cuts in that time frame. So that's pretty darn good. Okay, I can get behind Pearson. And then Suber, I know he's got uber talent. Let's see. It hasn't translated to the tour as much. I guess I don't hate it. A couple of young guys going out there and trying to just burn the lights off this place. Like, I guess I don't hate it. Pearson's been a lot better. Should he have taken Parker? Let's see what Parker Cootie's thing is. No, probably should have taken Pearson. Or I'm sorry, probably should have taken Jackson Suber, but interesting. Okay. I have to go get a haircut. I have an appointment. I've got to go eat lunch. I have to go do some data stuff. I got a lot to do on this Wednesday. But we're going to keep chugging along. Lots of good stuff coming. Lots of great weeks coming up. Thank you to all of you who have tuned in for this. It has been quite the joy. I'll see you next time.